What up, Joe? My good people. This is your guy, Darryl Noodles Nolen. Begin this show with one thing I must do that I take great pride in doing is thanking God. Thanking God for this blessing. Thanking God for putting me around like-minded people. You know, it took me a time to actually, find the perfect place where the energy is proper. And I feel like this is home for me. So I want to give a shout out, the Raw Avenue and TC's Art Gallery, for having me here. I am so happy to be part of this family, this team. Put that out there. I also want to thank the viewing audience. Thank you for spending time with me. You could be anywhere else, but you decided to take out 60 minutes of your time and spend it with your guy, Darryl Noodles Nolen. I thank you for that. I don't take that lightly. I don't. Because you could be anywhere else, doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But you said, let me tune in, because this brother might drop some gems on me. Because that's what we do on this show. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in the podcast game probably over a year and a half. It'll just say 18 months, but for purposes. The concept of the last show that I'm carrying over onto this show, I'm all about networking. I'm all about building relationships. I'm all about hanging around like-minded people. If you're an entrepreneur, how do I increase foot traffic in your business? If you're a business owner, how do I increase online orders for you? I'm all about, if you're about doing positive things, in the past I've had community activists, I've had politicians, I've had lawyers, I've had real estate, I've had brokers. I have my good friend, Chief of the Fire Department, Brother James Harris, was on the show, my previous podcast team that I was working with. So we're all about amazing guests. People that are like-minded, people that are pouring positivity. We got too much negativity going around us. So when you tune in to Spending Time with Noodles, it's all about the good Lord using me as a vessel to plant some seeds. That's what I'm about. Because one thing I don't believe in, I don't believe in where we just beat someone over the head and say, you must subscribe to the way that I think. No, plant that seed, baby. You know what? I got an amazing guest in the studio with me. Ooh, baby, she is amazing. And I want to introduce her right now. But before we get into the intro, our first one, to just introduce her to y'all. We're going to take a pause and I'm going to cover some current events, right? But Donulae T. Knuckles, welcome to Spending Time with Noodles.
Thank you so much.
You make me proud. You make me happy. Can I call you Dr. Knuckles? Is okay. Can we put that on the atmosphere already? Or
sure.
We're waiting on something official?
Oh, look, you can do what you like. Nurse Knuckles, Dr. Knuckles on the way.
She gave me the permission. She gave me the green light. So before we talk about the amazing work that she does, and she also an amazing event that's going to take place on Friday, February the 7th. But before we get into that, y'all, another thing that we do on this show, Spending Time with Noodles, I like to talk about what took place in the city of Detroit. What took place nationally? What took place globally, internationally? Because, see, you got to stay up on your current events so you know how to move. That's how I believe. So, in first place, where I want to stop and give a shout out to, they did the city proud, baby. Them Detroit Lions. They put an exclamation point on grit, baby. We may have came up short, but one thing about sports and another thing about music, it brings people together. They had an amazing run, and it took me a minute to, let's say, put my full-fledged support behind them, because I was still a little sore, and that's the story for another day. I'll talk about it. I'll confess it. But Detroit Lions, my man Campbell, with you and your offensive coordinator, Johnson, and defensive coordinator, Glenn, did, and what you said he will never be forgotten. You brought people from different backgrounds together. I mean, I remember the Saturday prior to the Sunday playoff game against the Commanders. I'm out moving in the city, and I'm seeing everybody drinking their Lions drip. Didn't matter what race, ethnicity you were. God is saying, why can't y'all take that from sports and apply it to how y'all get along as a story for another day? Because we're going to talk about that day. So thank you, Lions, for doing what y'all did, bringing this city together. And I already know, we're going to go hard in the pay next year. So next year might be the year that we inscribe our names on that Lombardi trophy. You feel me? So, hey, I'm in the game. One of the other things I want to shout out the city of Detroit for. We did an amazing job for the NFL draft.
Yes.
We had hundreds of thousands, and I believe the numbers are somewhere around, is it 700,000? Am I embellishing? Am I adding, inflating the numbers a tad that I think maybe? Let's just say we had hundreds of thousands of folks come to the deep.
We did.
And baby, none of us showed out. We put on a great display of how Detroiters get down, how much we've changed, unifying, no major issues took place. It made me feel proud to say I'm from the D. What'd you think of the Lions season?
Oh, it was amazing. You know, I am a total Lions fan. I have 3 sons. Since forever. I come from a long line of athletes. I have 3 sons that play football currently. And yes.
Where do your sons play football? Let's talk about that. They on the field, huh?
Yeah, I have a son that actually he graduated from Cass Tech back in 2018. Eric Michael Smith. Eric went to City All-State, yeah.
City All-State.
Full ride scholarship, yeah, all that.
Full ride scholarship to where?
He went to Central State and then transferred to Western Michigan University.
That's what's
Now he's being a grown man in the state of Georgia.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That means you and Dad did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a current high school student at Martin Luther King. So
he balling over there?
He is a 9th grader that came in the varsity football program at King.
Hold on. Let me make sure my ears are clear and, proper. You said he is varsity squad? The 9th grade?
He is varsity. He's not starting, but he actually is on the team as a 9th grader.
Starting on varsity, baby, to do that 9th grade.
Yeah, I figure it was only like 2 or 3 of them that came in 9th grade.
He gifted. Look, well, I got some resources, in an NFL game, so we may have to talk offline about the bright future for your son.
And then I can't forget my youngest son, Donovan. He's a part of PAL.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Told him of the
But he in the game, right?
He's in the game.
That's what's up. And, and I got to say this, you post often on social media, Facebook, and we're Facebook friends.
We are.
As well as partners in health and wealth.
That's right.
Okay. Not crime. Health and wealth.
Crime.
And when I tell you, your sons, every time I see them, I'm like, those are her sons, no doubt. They are Xerox copies of you.
Yes.
Look just like you. All right, so, hey, it's official. Donulae's a Lions fan. I'm a Lions fan. Let's keep this thing moving. Also in the city of Detroit, we got another sports team doing pretty well. The Detroit Pistons. Last year, man, they upset at all of us. You couldn't give away Piston tickets last year, flat out. But this year, new coach, new attitude, new players. I got to give a shout out to them. I like what y'all doing. Y'all ain't going to the finals. Y'all ain't finals ready. But y'all building something. And the city is getting behind you. So keep doing what y'all doing. I think that Lions grit and spill it over into to the Pistons. I'm sorry, I'm not a hockey man. I don't play hockey. But them Red Wings is playing some great hockey right now.
Well, that red, dark or red.
Red. Anybody rep red? Nothing but success coming your way. And also, I used to play baseball back in high school. I'm sorry, but the game is too slow for me. It's slow. But let me say this. Gotta give a shout out to the Detroit Tigers, though. Detroit Tigers turned a season around. Gotta give the coach Hench some credit. AJ, man, you came over from Houston. You got these players laser focused at the right time of the season. And all we can do, baby, is go upwards from there. So, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Pistons, Detroit Red Wings take up. This past Monday, we honored someone that I believe in this room we're all familiar with. We honored a man that stood up for equality and fought for justice and equality for those of us in this room, us black folks. And that man is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I'll just share my love for Dr. King. Dr. King wasn't a perfect man. Nobody's perfect. But for that man to do what he did, and I'll sum it up this way, Knuckles, he took a bullet for us. You know, I had the pleasure of, going to the place where he was assassinated, the Lorraine Motel. And I was there because they were recognizing the sanitation workers that Dr. King was there speaking on behalf of. And unfortunately, it was his last speech that he gave. Oh. But to be in the room with those black men that were treated unfairly by the city of Memphis, to be there and to see where our great leader was assassinated, it's what my ancestors wanted me to see. Because, see, you got to understand knowledge of self, and that's what I encourage us to understand our history better. Don't just listen to the quick news flashes on TV. You got to do the research. And right now, with all this technology at our hands, there is no excuse. How does Dr. King make you feel?
He makes me feel very grateful. I love, the famous "I have a dream" speech, because that reminds me that we can have a dream too, and we can achieve. And I also like the one saying where, if you can run, if you can fly, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl, but just keep moving. So that's what we have to be reminded. Keep moving and keep having a dream.
You know what? And I'm glad you said what you just said. No doubt we have to keep having a dream. I'm going to touch on this because God dropped it in my spirit. And trust me, we'll have plenty of time to get to what we're here for. Okay. I guarantee you that. I understand time there management very well. Mm-hmm. I watched a clip where Dr. King, as a lot of people, of course, and we're not going to talk politics on this show today, but many were disappointed based on the outcome of the November the 5th election last year. And Dr. King came to the realization, and it was not artificial intelligence, so I know it was real. I had been told the story, but I finally got the chance to actually watch the video. And prior to him being assassinated, Dr. King said, I wonder if my speech has now turned into what we will call a nightmare for us. Because things that were promised, clearly, obviously, weren't delivered. And then we wonder why we have the issues we have today as a people in our Black community. But that's a story for another day, because I want to get to this great topic where health is wealth, baby. I want to get to that. But I just feel it's important that we truly understand our history. Because, see, we were indoctrinated, not educated. But as an adult today, I believe you pretty much have no excuse of not knowing what you should know. I had the pleasure, of course, and I say this because I am someone that has traveled, where I participated in 50th anniversary, the march from Selma to Montgomery. And when I tell you, when I walked across that Edmund Pettus Bridge, where we saw the pictures of people that look like us, our ancestors, many of them probably have gone on to glory, but to see them be attacked by people that should have been there to defend us, but because of how we were treated as people, to walk across that bridge, Knuckles, it was spiritual for me.
I can only imagine.
Oh, it was spiritual, baby. I felt my ancestors' presence walking across that bridge. I also had the pleasure, because God blessed me to work at a high level with the International UAW, and I got an opportunity to meet an icon. And when we talked about the Edmund Pettus Bridge, I mean, one of the gentlemen that comes to mind is John Lewis. Yeah. Because John Lewis was on the forefront. Well, check this out. I'm down in Mississippi. Never been to Mississippi, baby. Mm-hmm. But God blessed me, and I got a chance to meet many of our Black representatives by way of the Congressional Black Caucus. It's an offsite. So I'm standing in the lobby, and I'm looking left, and then when I happen to turn right, guess who's standing next to me? John Lewis himself.
Wow.
And I'm like, God, right now I'm a little, I don't know what to say. Can you help me out here? This is a man that I read about in history books. He is standing next to me by himself. God, I want to have a conversation with this man. I opened my mouth. I said, Mr. Lewis, sir, may I take a picture with you, sir? Took a photo. He said, young man, let's talk. Let's sit down. Let's have a seat.
Wow.
That man poured into me. He said, what do you do for a living? I shared with him. I said, well, sir, I'm the product of Ford Motor Company. I hired in, worked on the line, and I was working towards my college degree and decided to get involved in the union, and I became a union official. And right now, in this position that I hold, I'm an international UAW staff rep. And he said to me, he said, oh, man, I'm always in Detroit. I said, really? His brothers worked at the Rouge facility, which is Ford Motor Company, UAW Local 600.
Wow.
Would have never known that had I never had that conversation. So God is good.
All the time.
So you know what? Last current event that we're going to dive into why we here. There's an election coming up, y'all, in the city of Detroit. You know about the election coming up, mayor, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, people need to understand. Voting is important. I'm not going to get a history lesson, but some of the candidates are already throwing their hats into the ring. Mary Sheffield, Joe Hashem. People are going to say, who is this Joe Hashem? He's a businessman. Not sure what type of business, but he's a businessman. We have Chantel Jenkins has thrown her head into the ring. Fred Durhall III. And I'm sure by the time it's all said and done, we know there's some other names out there. They're going to throw their hats in the ring as well. All I'm saying, and the reason why I mention it, is because we need to get out and we need to make sure we vote. And we need to vote for people that have our best interests at hand, that don't think they're celebrities. Because I think that's part of the problems with some of our elected officials. Story for another day, not today. Okay? So, another thing took place last week, and I'm not going to skate the issue, but another event took place. There was an inauguration of an individual that I didn't support, don't agree with, but hey, he's the president. Well, let me say this to my people that look just like me. Kendrick Lamar said it best. We gonna be all right. Wanna know why? Our ancestors endured more than what we had to, let's say, deal with relative to that L. They were brought over here against their will. They were indoctrinated. They were raped. They were lynched. They were brutalized. So I believe that when we get stronger people, like-minded people that look like us, and the best representative that I give a lot of shout out to, this sister from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, who speaks real talk, who is not afraid of the oppressors, which are on the other side, because those folks are not for equality for all. So enough of that being said, I think God said, you know what, baby, pick up the pace. Let's get into what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been blessed. I have been so blessed. It was this past summer, actually. I was hanging out with some of my fellow Mulford Whodats, class of 84. The high school Eddie Murphy made famous. He rode past all y'all other high schools. I don't care if you went to Cass. I don't care if you went to Renaissance. I don't care if you went to King.
Cody High, C-O-D-Y.
Is that still? Oh, it is still. Yeah, I don't care if you went to Cody. But he said, I need to represent Mulford Phys. So I'm hanging out with some Whodats, right? And as everybody knows, I'm not shy. I have a heck of a personality, and I get it from my mama. Ooh, that woman. Don't worry, we're going to talk about her later. And I see this woman who's not a Mulford Whodat, but when I tell you, she was dressed to the nines. And one thing about us mature men, we love to see, of course, our beautiful queens dressed. It's in our history books. They used to go to baseball games dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to tell our young men, pull them pants up, please. Stop misrepresenting us. But anyway, Knuckles had on this colorful outfit. And I was like, God was like, you need to introduce yourself to her. And what I did, the rest we're about to reveal how we started collaborating. It was my pleasure meeting you.
Likewise.
I want to turn it over to you now. Because, see, you're in a field, and the topic, of course, is health as well. And many of my friends know that I've been on a healthcare kick for a while. I've been promoting, take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and also financially. That's very simple. And when I found out the type of work that you did, I said to myself, look at God, bringing like-minded people together. Tell your story. What happened to you?
Well, first of all, I am a registered nurse for 28 years come May. I'm also a PhD doctoral candidate.
PhD, y'all.
Yes, just defended my dissertation proposal on Friday. And I'm also the owner of Knuckles Health Education Services, where we educate, empower, serve, and save lives through teaching critical life-saving skills. So I would go throughout the community sharing, teaching CPR, first aid, how to recognize a stroke, things like that. And I was also working at Children's Hospital, high-functioning, pediatric children's special health care services, registered nurse. And I came home from work. At the time, it was just me and my 11-year-old daughter. We had dinner. I went to my room to get some work done. And as soon as I sat down, my eyes started to roll around my head. My mouth felt numb. And I didn't know what was going on, but I felt like I was about to die. So I made my way from my room to the living room. And I saw my daughter. She saw me. And immediately she called 911. After she called 911, she called my mother. And I remember talking to my mother, telling her, because it was like a balloon slowly dwindling away. And I told my mother, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if I'm going to die, because it was that serious. And within a few seconds, I was at the emergency room. I don't know what happened. I must have blacked out or something. But when I woke up, I was in the emergency room. I could not walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't see, but I could hear, but I couldn't understand what people were saying. And after that, they found out that I had a stroke. I'm 39 years old at the time. 39 years old. I'm the registered nurse. I am the owner of Knuckles Health, where I'm going out teaching people these things, how to recognize a stroke, what is high blood pressure, what is hypertension, heart attacks and things like that. But I had a stroke. And they were like, what's going on? She doesn't have any of the precursors to have this. So let's look.
Precursors, please explain on that. What
so I didn't come with, high blood pressure or diabetes or some of the comorbidities that go along with the possibility of having stroke. I didn't have peripheral artery disease or cholesterol issues. So they took a look at my heart. They did an echocardiogram. They found that I had a hole in my heart that I was born with that should have closed when I was born, but never did. So when you're in your mom's womb, the way that circulation occurs, it occurs through that hole. When you are delivered, that hole closes.
When you say the circulation occurs, what's circulation? We're really
like the oxygenation, the way that baby gets the oxygen.
Okay, so that hole has to stay open because I'm in your womb.
Exactly.
It's got to be there because mom is breathing, so I got to breathe. But yeah, what you're saying is when you came out of your mom's womb, what?
That hole was still open. Even though I took my first breath, but the hole was still open. So what happened is as I got older and developed, that hole got larger. And so the unfiltered blood went through the hole and up to my brain, blocking one of my coronary arteries. Yes.
Cause a full stroke. Think about it. I mean, you're talking about being a baby, and this process took 39 years to occur.
Yes. Yes. And I really think it happened because of the stress levels that I was under. There was a point where, I had 5 children. I was a wife. I had a high functioning job. I had 2 businesses, well, 1 business at the time. So I was doing a lot for my church, for the community, a lot. I was taking care of everybody else, but I wasn't taking care of me like I should have been. And I think that stress and just not paying attention to myself, allowed that blood to flow a different way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, of course, I had to have heart surgery to close the hole.
That's where I was going.
Yeah. So the following month, I had heart surgery. They closed the hole, and it was like opening the door. When they say, close the door, we don't want to let air out. Once that door is closed, I do.
How long did that procedure take?
I don't recall, but I want to say between 2 to 4 hours. I had it, ironically, at Children's Hospital. Yep, Dr. Forbes, Children's Hospital. It's a pediatric condition.
Hold on, how is it? I was about to ask, you're an adult. You ain't supposed to be at Children's Hospital.
Children's could see people from birth all the way to 9,900 years old. It was a pediatric condition.
So that's why they treat it.
Right. Yeah, yes.
So in terms of rehabbing from the stroke, please share.
Yeah, so
how did that go?
Yeah, so after I was discharged from the hospital, I went to a rehabilitation center, RIM, actually right down in the DMC. So shout out to RIM because they were amazing. I had physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy because I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I was blind. My face drooped on this side. It was a lot going on, but fortunately, I got to the hospital in a timely manner to give me medication to reverse things. So we always say there's an acronym, FAST, F-A-S-T. It stands for face, arm, speech, time. And these are the ways to recognize a stroke. So you look at a person's face. If it droops on one side, it's likely they may have had a stroke. You tell them to raise their arms. If one arm can't go up, then it's likely they had a stroke that affected that side. The S stands for speech. Have them say a simple sentence like, the sky is blue. Now, they may slur that or they may not be able to say it at all. And if you see those 3 as T, time to call 911 because there are interventions, medications that can be given to reverse that. A lot of people say, I'm just going to lay down. I'll be okay. I'm going to lay down for a minute. And they've had a stroke. They wake up 6 hours later and then they realize, we got to send you to the hospital and it's too late.
What? I mean, God is good.
All the time. I don't look like what I've been through.
You're a teacher. You were teaching at Wayne State, correct?
Professor.
No, sir.
We're currently working
there. Some respect on her. Professor. No.
Yeah, I haven't worked over there in a little bit, but
you were there during the time in which you had your stroke, right?
Was I? I was actually at Children's Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I know, because I watched the story, you were interviewed on Channel 4.
I was, yeah.
Kimberly Gibb.
Yes, I was. Yeah. So what happened?
Yeah, speak on that, please.
So after I had the stroke, a friend of mine that worked at Henry Ford Hospital, she said, hey, we're doing a fundraiser to send people to stroke camp. I want to invite you. So, of course, I've totally recovered. I didn't look like what I had been through. And I said, sure, I'll come out. I'll give you money and support the cause. While I was there, she said, Donulae, I want you to come to stroke camp this year. I said, sure. You want me to do blood pressure, CPR? What do you want me to do? She said, I want you to come as a survivor. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't tell people I had a stroke. That's behind me. I'm moving forward. She said, no, really, I want you to come. So I reluctantly came, and it was a weekend retreat. Henry Ford put it on. It was up north, beautiful place, Lexington, Michigan, right off the lake. So many activities. It was beautiful. Do you know, when I got there, it was like magic. I felt so empowered because there were so many people who have had strokes, and the strokes look different on everybody. And I was one of the few Black American people, not just women, but people there. So I learned so much. I cried the whole weekend because I was so grateful. And although people have had strokes, they're so powerful and it's magical. So I came back like, okay, I got to tell my people because I know how the disparities are within cardiovascular disease for our people. We have a lot more heart attacks, strokes, and things like that. So I said, we're going to do this in February. I came back February because it's Heart Health Month, right?
So that's where I was going, Miss Knuckles. You jumping the gun a little bit. Now let me help you. Just possible to call.
That's right.
So, you and I had a conversation, and when you shared with me, of course, what happened to you, what you experienced, it hung with me.
Mm-hmm.
It had hung with me because congestive heart failure disease runs in my family. My mother died in 2011 from it.
Mm-hmm.
See, when God is making moves, he puts like-minded people in common together. Because, see, you have a gift, I have a gift.
Yes.
And we're going to help save some lives. So when you shared with me, what occurred, and I recall taking my mom to University of Michigan, saw one of the best cardiologists, and he took care of my mom and looked at me and said, if you don't change your ways, you're going to leave her the same way because it runs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what many of us need to understand. So that's in 2011, I'm hearing this. As you said, you had a lot going on in your career, your life, and I was at a high level of the International Union. I'm at Fort Ward headquarters negotiating a contract, and I'm also watching my mama die before my very eyes. But God planted a seed in 2011, and I'm going to get it back to you, but I didn't get the memo. In 2018, the photo that I show of myself often on Facebook, and it'll be part of the show and we drop our content.
Mm-hmm.
I had to remove some stressful things out of my life because God said, I got a plan for you. I got a gift that I want you to share. Donulae, that's why you're here. So what event do you have coming up that I know is going to be spectacular because you got something coming down the pipeline? Tell to the people. Tell them what you got going on.
All right. So the nonprofit organization that I am the co-founder of is called Love Yourself for Life. Okay. And we have a Go Red 10th year anniversary gala where we are raising funds to send our heart and stroke survivors, their family members, and caregivers to a weekend retreat. We support stroke survivors, their family members, and caregivers all year long. You wouldn't even understand the number of calls we get and things like that. But like I said, I was a part of a camp. It changed my life. I came back to my community and said, we got to get this going. So ever since I came back from that camp, I've been sharing this information in a different platform for the community. So February 7th, which is National Go Red for Heart Health Day, we're going to have our fundraiser. We have the theme this year is Red and Ready to Rip the Runway.
Where is this event taking place?
It is going to take place at the Farmington Hills Manor.
Oh, very nice venue.
Yeah, a very nice venue. Yes, absolutely.
And who's hosting it? I've been hearing rumors, so I want you to...
Well, you know what? This year, we have themes every year.
Let's talk about that.
This year, our theme is mental health. Of course, a lot of people have physical issues after having a stroke, but people don't see the mental side. So we realize that sometimes we have to laugh. Sometimes we have to just relax a little. And comedian Coco, is going to be hosting our event. My auntie Coco is going to be for her birthday on Monday.
That's right. We were there. Hey, we up in age, but We had to go pay respect to the Queen of Comedy.
Queen of Comedy of Detroit, yes. And she was also a nurse. So she comes with that healthcare background.
A lot of people
so she understands. Absolutely, they don't. But she is an amazing person, and I'm looking forward to that event. Yeah, and we have a fashion show, too. LaQuisha Sane is going to be the fashion show host. And we have people coming from all over, celebrities coming to model. So we might have a special.
Well, I heard sitting in my bed, I've been buying some red attire. I'm not coming in no full red suit because that would represent, I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody said, that represent the devil. I ain't coming in no full red pimp suit.
Or Santa Claus.
I don't believe it's Santa Claus. I'm a different man now. But anywho, so I'm looking close to that. How do people, if I'm listening in right now, how do I get tickets?
So we are on Eventbrite, but we're also on our email. You can email us direct at info@loveyourself4life.com. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So you can reach out to us on our email or via Eventbrite. Tickets are on sale. It's going to be an amazing event because we pull all parts of community. Our theme is self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. So, self-care is not selfish. We have to take care of ourselves because who's going to take better care of ourselves than we?
Amen to that.
Yeah.
You know what? So how does someone get a hold of you if they want to get in touch with you? Soon to be Dr.Donulae T. Duckos. How do they get a hold of you?
Find us on Facebook at Love Yourself for Life. That's the organization. You can also email us at info@loveyourselfforlife. It's not hard. You can Google Nurse Knuckles, Dr. Knuckles, Donulae Knuckles, and you can find all the information you need. I'm just really excited about this because we have vendors, we have sponsors, and this is not just for survivors, it's for everybody. Because 1 in 4 people have that hole in their heart that I had that caused a stroke, and they don't even know it.
And there's 4 of us in this room, and you are that one.
That one.
Wow.
So just imagine 400 people.
That part. So you know what? With that being said, I'm so glad that you came onto my show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm about to get into the part of this show where, I conclude and announce, my next up and coming guest for next week. Because I know our good people over here at this amazing, amazing, amazing family. I'm just so proud once again to be here. They know who I'm talking about. But next week, my guest on the show will be Miss Medina Smith, Vision 2025 wear. And one, if you fail to plan to fail. She's out here encouraging, looking to inspire. So she'll be on the show next week. We're going to promote that. I got to also give a shout out to my great, great legends. I publicly apologize to them social media style, but I got legends, Fast Freddy from the Scene coming on the show. They will be followed up on February the 12th. I also have coming up, not just Fast Freddy, but one of the biggest promoters in the city, Derek West of Big West Entertainment. Got some events coming up. He's got the Players Ball, and y'all know how to get down. Get y'all minks together, baby, because D West, he knows how to throw a party. And guess who's hosting it? Angie Starr from 105.9, Mason and Angie Starr in the morning. So it's brothers like that are like-minded like myself. And one thing about D West that brother always does, he gives back, y'all. And that's what Noodles is about. That's what Knuckles is about.
That's right.
And that's what my guests are all about. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for spending time with us. God bless you. Love, peace. Don't need no head grease.